I really didn't want to make this video at all. Hi, Celeste. But after 9 years of being ridiculed for pointing out that planets are ancient stars, which is, it's like basic astronomy and astrophysics, I have to take the next step and explain what some of these symbols mean on spacecraft that have been seen by various witnesses. The first symbol, and I'll make this talk short and sweet, is the Lonnie Zamora UFO. It says here, on Friday, April 24th, 1964, that's 20 years before I was born, at 5:50 p.m., Lonnie Zamora saw an alien spaceship with beings walking around outside of it. He saw two people walking around outside of it, probably taking a pee break. He also saw a red symbol on the side of the alien spaceship. This paper serves to explain what that symbol stood for. It was a this side up symbol, a common symbol used on boxes and items that need to be given orientation in 3D space. So naturally, here's his sketch. Lonnie Zamora was a police officer, trained observer. He wasn't somebody to just yank people around and just make stuff up. He really saw this. You can go ahead and look it up on the internet if you want. Basically, here's him signing. He says, sketch of object from my position at approximately, I can't tell what numbers those are right there, but basically he drew the oval shaped craft right there. And if you look really closely, there's that little line that goes like this, under the U, upside down U, then that arrow, and then that line underneath. And an artist went ahead and made a much clearer visualizable illustration of it, I guess, or computer graphics model. And I was looking at that and I was like, well, clearly, if you were to fly around in this thing, or you were to transport these things, and say you produce thousands of them, I would say they probably produced hundreds of thousands of them. Think of cars, like Tesla cars or Ford F-150s. Probably, those car manufacturers, truck manufacturers produce hundreds of thousands of them. Now, wouldn't it be wise if you're going to transport hundreds of thousands of these things, that you would be well, when the legs are retracted, it just looks like an egg. Which side is up? There are three axes of orientation. You have your x-axis, your y, and your z. So naturally, if you want to have people boarding these crafts and flying them away to transport them, you're not going to want to stick it upside down, But can you imagine how much chaos it would cause when these legs are retracted and you're trying to find where the door is? Because the door sits flush. The door would sit flush right there. You wouldn't be able to see it. These things would just roll around like eggs inside the transport vehicle that they're rolling around in. And I've shipped out lots of boxes, and that symbol is on the boxes too. Look, they draw a little box figure on the outside, and with the arrows, and this represents the ground for this side up, you guys. But a lot of the ridiculers and pseudo skeptics and stuff, they say, well, he just saw the lunar lander. Does that look like the lunar lander to you? No way. And the lunar lander was built 4 years after he even made this discovery, or to even witness this, 1964. The lunar lander didn't even exist yet. But another thing is it's in red letters, or it's in red paint. That's what Lonnie said. And red paint, to us, that signals danger. When we paint something red, or we want something to be red, it sticks out. It's more visceral. And what that tells me is that it represents blood. Because when you see blood, it sticks out. You're like, oh, it's blood, danger. Somebody's bleeding, or you're bleeding, and it sticks out. It signals there's something going on. We need to act quick. Somebody's bleeding, or you're bleeding. And that being said, if it's red, I don't know too much about biology, but wouldn't that mean that there's blood in these people as well? And maybe it signals that their star radiates light onto their home world at the same visible frequency as it does us. So they would be able to see that red color as we do. And also signals that there's some biological mechanism there that allows them to have evolved similar to us, to where they find the red color to also stick out. So that's interesting to note. I haven't seen anybody talk about that, but there it is. I wrote a little quick paper. I put it up on Vixar for you guys to see, and maybe there's some other clues there that are, you know, we can probably figure out how these things work if we just study them, instead of, you know, allowing people to get ridiculed for what they see, you know. I'm so glad those Navy videos came out. They released those 3 F-18 FLIR videos where they track the craft, you know, basically hauling ass. And this one, when this one flew away from Lonnie's position, it had like a blue flame coming out of the bottom of it, a blue and orange flame, and it rose up just like a rocket. Its legs had retracted and it just slowly moved away. But I'm sure that one can probably haul ass too. It's just, there's probably different mechanisms that allow it to move. Anyways, I made this talk long enough. I'll link that paper to the bottom. It's just a this side up symbol. That's all it is. It's not strange or weird. Later, y'all.